breaks the tackle. Touchdown, Titans! Touchdown, Titans! He is the baddest man in the NFL!
Yo, what's up, guys? It's Titans time. This is a segment where me, your residential Titans fan, goes through our weekly schedule and react or predict what is going on next. I definitely think that the Titans let me down in this one. Look, traveling to Pittsburgh is never an easy game, and knowing that they had the final drive, a fourth down, like coming up a half a yard short on that fourth down, is just ridiculous. Losing 13-19 to a down Pittsburgh team that still came out and was fighting and fought the whole entire time. You definitely saw glimpses of Tennessee's chances of being really good, and you also seen glimpses of why Tennessee is not taken so seriously as well. Man, the lack of explosive plays in this game on offense truly hurt us. Not only that, the turnovers. I think that there was man, I came into this and I already said that the keys to the game was turnovers, penalties, and who knew that I was supposed to also say explosive plays? They came out the game early, playing well, moving the ball down the field. Defense, the all game actually was top notch. Shouts out to our defense. I think they only held the Steelers to 133 total passing yards and 35 rushing yards. Man, on every turnover that the Titans gave, and within their own side of the field, they definitely only gave up field goals instead of touchdowns. So you love to see us having such a great defense, even with the holes we still had. Buster Screen still played a really good game. Christian Fulton as well. Zach Cunningham looked well in that one as well. I felt good with him on the field. Big Jeff is still a beast. KB was where he needed to be. The coverage is sticky. Our pass rush is still good. I'm glad to see Bud Dupree back getting a sack. Defensively, we did look like the number 2 team in the league, and shouts out to them for the 3 sacks, and they should have had a few more turnovers. But penalties, man, we definitely gonna talk about the penalties. One drive that the Steelers had was graded to 2 or 3 pass interferences, offsides, it's just stupid penalties, man. It just was a bad sight to see. We played so well defensively. We just did not need those lapses. Oh my God. Taylor Lewan had a hole, but he needed to. It just was a bad look, especially for a team that is usually in the top 10 in penalties. Now, when we always get into our undisciplined football, it doesn't seem like we can just have a turnover or 2 turnovers and call it a day. No, it flurries. And yesterday was no different. 3 turnovers in 10 snaps. I've never seen anything like it. And the way that those turnovers were just fluky, punched out by Ferguson. You had the throwaway by Racy McMath, and then Taco Charlton woke up for half a minute, just enough to jump up and tip that ball right to his teammate. And it just so happened that it went right to his teammate. It just was a fluky, bounce of the ball type game. The turnovers were ridiculous in this one. It killed us. Like, without those turnovers, Steelers offense does nothing. Like, they get if we just punt the ball back to them, they're not crossing midfield against our defense again and again. So I'm not looking for I'm not looking for the excuses of what it was just a bad game or like the calls. Like, man, we had some mental lapses in that one. We had like some bad like juju that we put on our own self for some reason in this one. This was an easy game to win, and they should have had it. Now, I also want to talk about the lack of explosive plays, man. Like that, it just was obvious. Like on the first play on offense, if you give him time, if you give Tannehill time, Julio Jones ran wide open down the field. Perfect play call on the blitz and man coverage. Man, like you just seen it. Like it was going to be a long day for them after that. But you don't give him time. He has to swallow it and take the sack. It rang true all day. Like, I mean, the lack of like respect for the deep passing game let them like pin their ears back and just go how they wanted to. And TJ Watt looked like a man amongst boys out there. I mean, like one sack he ran like through two people that were holding him and grabbed Tannehill. It was just ridiculous. How can we have explosive plays and you give up 4 sacks and 7 QB hits? Like Tannehill, I am commending you for all the sacks, all the interceptions you throw. Like the one you had that day was ridiculous. Like, man, you had 2 fumbles though. Because one of them, it's a strip sack. They're not giving you much time. But I also think that like their play calling has to be adjusted to know that Pittsburgh was coming after him, knowing that our offensive line was good in the rushing game, but terrible in pass blocking. So, I mean, we got to find some speed, man. Like, just some, like, Nick Respicakina was not fast enough to catch that one. And even then when he came down, his first drop of the season, it just was ugly. It just rained like that was going to be the day. And it was, actually. Man, we got the 49ers Thursday, so that's coming up really, really close. The 49ers looked really good in that game against the Falcons, so I'm not sure what we're going to expect from the Titans. Hopefully we can get like A.J. Brown some snaps and back in. I'm not sure what the call is on Julio, who didn't return in that game, but I would imagine that they had him on a pitch count anyway. They was not going to play the whole game, healthy or not. So I just hope that we can get some explosiveness for that game against Thursday against the 49ers, because man, we need something other than like a spicy running game, which we definitely. Foreman looks good. Hillard looks decent as well. McNichols look good. So I mean, like, we got a good solid running game still, but the lack of play action, like I said last episode, is killing us. Tannehill's the best play action quarterback in the game, and we are not running effective enough play action against people. We are getting the run now, but the deep threat without AJ, without healthy Julio, without like a Cam Batson, somebody stretching fields, without even a Marcus Johnson, it's hurting us. I mean, Racey McMath is pretty fast from what I know. So, and he's a tall, lanky guy, a rangy guy. So, I mean, I guess they're trying to get him like out there and comfortable with more passes and catching and route running, so that they can use him as well as like a big body, deep threat guy. But we need it now. Whew. I don't think that the 49ers secondary is just that fast. Emmanuel Mosley is kind of fast. Tart's really good, but we're just gonna see how like that matchup goes, and we'll go from there, man. I think that I'm gonna go ahead and call that game as well right now. I think the Titans are going to play back up to standards this game. only because of our defense. Our offense, if they just win the turnover battle, in which I don't think that they're going to come out there and, turn the ball over 4 more times again in consecutive games because of Mike Vrabel getting in people's butts. I mean, you just see how he felt on the sidelines, and I think he was just as upset as like anybody who put money on the game. You know what I'm saying? Like he was. I mean, I feel like he's a good coach. He definitely is a good coach, and he's going to do what's best for his football team to get us in the right direction. And look for the Titans to win this one, 23-20. I think that the 49ers are going to be able to move the ball down the field, but I think the Titans are going to have the ball last, and they do. And this time they're going to get it done. All right, guys, that's Titans time. When we come back, Vegas, baby.